seconds. Seconds. 15. 10. 5. 4.
Coming up on MHK All Day, get an inside look on how K-State students learned how to prevent sexual violence. Plus, how one local community is protesting the placement of a new factory heading to Kansas. And find out more information about why the tuition increase was made.
From KKSU LD at Kansas State University, serving Manhattan and the Flint Hills family. This is MHK All Day.
Welcome back to another episode of MHK All Day. I'm your host, Isabel Lavi. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. You want to stay tuned because later in the show we'll have a tech update that will explain apps that benefit students and will show you how to make your new favorite healthy snack, blueberry salsa. To get even more MHK All Day, check us out on Facebook and Twitter at MHK All Day. Sexual assault and violence has been a hot topic on college campuses. K-State students filed Forum Hall to learn about the roots of sexual violence and ways to prevent it.
Sexual violence has been a growing concern on college campuses. K-State students, community members, and student service professionals all gathered to attend the first of the Lou Douglas Lecture Series on public issues. The workshop featured Dr. Keith Edwards, a nationally known scholar and educator on sexual violence prevention. Some students were left shocked about the information they learned.
Wow, I was really impressed by the way he was explaining all this rape culture and the most important thing to learn, because sometimes we see some behaviors that seems to be normal, but actually they're not. So I think that I'm taking that knowledge with me now.
Although college campuses are equipped with safety measures such as emergency call stations to protect students at their most vulnerable moments, like when they're walking home from class late at night, why is sexual violence still so common on these campuses? Dr. Keith Edwards says it all starts with the culture.
Things like objectifying language, dehumanizing women, about bad messages about what it means to be a man, and other intersecting forms of oppression. We have opportunities, unfortunately, every single day to intervene in those roots of sexual violence.
While the issue of sexual violence on campus is serious and can be hard to talk about for some students, Dr. Keith Edwards hopes that his workshop helps students learn how to become more proactive.
I hope they feel like they have more tools to talk to their friends, to challenge their peers, and to change the culture on this campus. And if they can do that, they'll not only address sexual violence, but make it a better community for every one of them to be a part of.
By recognizing elements of rape culture and knowing how to intervene when sexual violence is imminent, students can help put a stop to sexual violence on campus. In Manhattan, Kansas, Raina Garcia, MHK All Day.
For more information from Dr. Keith Edwards on how you can help prevent sexual violence, you can visit his website at keithedwards.com. The small town of Tonganoxie has been on the fight recently against a billion-dollar company that has been knocking on the community's back door. MHK reporter Tyler Waymeyer has more.
On September 5, 2017, Kansas Governor Sam Brownback announced plans to build a $320 million poultry processing plant near Tonganoxie. This site would be home to a slaughterhouse and processing plant, as well as a hatchery and feed mill. Governor Brownback, Leavenworth County Council members, and Tonganoxie City Council members announced the project to the public suddenly after having worked on the project under a non-disclosure agreement for some time. This non-disclosure agreement sent the community into an uproar. The day of the announcement had many of the Tonganoxie community members protesting outside of City Hall. Members of the community were upset that there was no community involvement with the deal up to the late public announcement. The community later formed the group Citizens Against Project Sunset. They attended and hosted multiple meetings these past couple weeks until their voices were finally heard on September 15th. The small town of Tonganoxie, Kansas has come together as a community to face the billion-dollar company Tyson Foods and try to stop them from moving into town. On September 15th, the community hosted a meeting where State Representatives Willie Dove and Jim Carlskeen and Senator Tom Holland were in attendance to hear how the community of Tonganoxie felt about the proposed Tyson plant.
Now, the first thing I want to make clear to is that my position on this project is going to be driven by the interests of the citizens of Tonganoxie.
Not only is this affecting the community itself of Tonganoxie, but it's having an impact on the students from Tonganoxie that attend Kansas State University.
I think something that's kind of the biggest impact that this will have on the community is the influx of people. Currently, our school district is struggling, it's a smaller community, and with the influx of people that will come in, it will, increase the people in our schools. And not only that, but we are a smaller community, and I think having an influx of people is just going to kind of urbanize us even more than we already are, and that's not what the people in Tongi are for. What they want is to continue to remain a small town.
Many community members are speaking their minds, from posting signs in their yards to even putting "No Tyson" on their houses. The people of Tonganoxie are willing to do what they have to stop this project. In Tonganoxie, Kansas, I'm Tyler Waymeyer with MHK All Day.
On September 19th, Tyson announced that they would be putting their plans in Tonganoxie on hold and prioritize other locations in Kansas and other states that have expressed support. The recent spike in tuition has students wanting answers. KSDP held a roundtable to discuss the increase and address student concerns.
Tuition increase has been a major concern for K-State students. KSDB held a roundtable consisting of SGA President Jack Ayers, Student Support Director Stephen Kuchera, K-State Vice President of Finance Cindy Bontrager, and Kansas Senator Tom Hawk. The panel discussed issues such as the decrease in financial support for higher education and what role the state's current budget crisis has in it. Senator Hawk shared his expertise on why he thinks tuition has risen and offered advice to students who are worried about the tuition costs.
Get politically involved and try to elect legislators and a governor that will support higher ed.
91.9 KSDB holds roundtables to address.
Even the guests have a chance to interact with the caller.
These roundtables include influential people in the K-State and Manhattan community in hopes of bringing attention to issues students are most passionate about while sharing them with the rest of the community. In Manhattan, Kansas, Raina Garcia, MHK All Day.
If you missed the roundtable, you can view the video on ksdbfm.org. K-State hosted its second annual Mental Wellness Week. Union Program Council hosted different events from Art Therapy Day to stomping on bubble wrap. This allowed students to release their worries and be in a better place mentally. At the Art Therapy Day, students were encouraged to bring out their inner Picasso and de-stress. This week is very helpful for students to not overthink school and their stresses.
Mental illness has to do with kind of maladaptive coping and different things, so art therapy is just a good way to cope. It's a positive way to cope and just take a step back and to just reorient. To get a lot of what people sometimes need to do is use some of their senses to just take a step back. So art therapy is great, playing games, just different things like that are just good ways to take a step back and cope.
Over 40,000 people a year take their own life in the U.S. That's one person every 16.2 minutes. The effects that suicide has hits close to home for many in the K-State community. In hopes to raise awareness, the Manhattan and K-State communities have joined together to plan the Out of Darkness Walk. Raina Garcia is joined with Abigail Olson, who has assisted in the planning of this event, to tell you more.
I'm here with Abigail Olson, who is assisting in the planning of the Out of Darkness Suicide Prevention Walk. Thanks so much, Abigail, for being here today. So can you tell me a little bit about this walk?
Yes, of course. The Out of the Darkness Walk is it's done by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, which is a national program. So these walks happen all over the nation, and it's a way for people to raise funds for their community and nationally, and it just raises a lot of awareness because it is such an important topic.
Okay, and can you explain a little bit of the significance of these walks?
Yes, so at these walks there's a lot of different ways that you can represent suicide and how it has affected you. Like individuals can wear beads that represent how has affected them, first responders, family, as they've had their own fight with suicide and so on. But it also, as a community walk, all of the funds, 80% of the funds that we raise as part of the walk stay here in the community to support Manhattan area. It's Riley County area, is all the funds stay right here for us to use, and it just raises so much awareness, and starting the conversation is such a big step.
That's great. And what made you want to get involved with the planning process of this event?
I work at Counseling Services here on campus, and they are just so passionate about it, and all of the clinicians were really excited, and it's just such a great event. And I haven't personally been affected by suicide, but I know many people who have, and we really need more conversations about it.
Okay, and how can students register? How can members of the community register for this?
They can go online, or they can just show up at the walk. It happens tomorrow at, registration is from 10 to 11:45, and they can register there, and there'll be silent auction items and cookies and just different ways to continue raising those funds.
Awesome, and do you typically see a lot of students participating?
Yes, last year we had over about 100 students, and we're hoping to up that number this year.
Okay, awesome. And how long has this event been going on?
This is the second one we've done here, but they have done them all over the nation for years.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Abigail, for being here with us. You can find out more information about the Suicide Walk at the website below. Now back to you, Isabel.
Thanks, Raina. This event seems like a wonderful way to raise awareness about suicide. After the break, reporter Eric Manoogian will join me to give you an inside look at how Fort Riley prepares for Apple Day.
When I hear the phrase giving back,
it means opportunity for me to do something for others.
Volunteering exposes you to different ways of life and different people around the world.
They teach you just as much as you teach them.
it allows you to understand the social issues that we face. The only people who can resolve those social issues is us, and that's starting with our community.
I think for me it means just really embodying what it means to be a part of that K-State family.
K-State athletics team with Courts for Kids, and we went to Costa Rica, a town called Leona Veja.
We went to Dallas to volunteer at Aid Services of Dallas.
I believe everybody should have education, and that's why I volunteer at a high school.
It's a family atmosphere, and we're here to take care of each other, and I think that K-State Proud and other things that students do really embody that family atmosphere that we've been taught since we got here.
What motivates Wildcats to give back?
Empathy. Kindness.
You.
I'm Kathleen from Meiningen, Germany.
I'm Ginger from Overland Park, Kansas.
I've traveled to London and saw the Parliament, studied in Mexico City, spent the summer in Austria, went skiing in the Alps. Oh, and I visited the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Well, I've been to the world's largest ball of twine.
Can we go?
Of course!
Become an international buddy today and develop new friendships and experience different cultures.
Up next, the world's deepest hand-dug well.
Is it near the Grand Canyon?
Fort Riley had their
Welcome back to MHK All Day. I'm joined here with reporter Eric Manoogian, who recently visited Fort Riley to find more about their Apple Pie Day.
That's right, Isabel. Saturday is Apple Pie Day over at Fort Riley, and they're getting ready to make some pies.
Awesome.
Let's take a look.
On Tuesday in Fort Riley, some volunteers got busy making some delicious-looking homemade apple pies.
We've got a bunch of volunteers out here making 1,500 apple pies. We'll be doing that all week. We have 5 days to make 1,500 pies, and so it takes the entire volunteer force of Fort Riley as well as the community.
This is the Pie Making Extravaganza Week. We have 1,500 pies that need to be made by Thursday night. Friday will be a baking day. Most of our pies are sold frozen, but we do bake some to sell by the slice on Apple Day. So this is how it gets done.
Right, so
it's a very long tradition. Casper's been making the pies at Fort Riley since the 80s for Apple Day. So the Historical and Archaeological Society of Fort Riley, this is our biggest fundraiser we do of the year. And now that it's kind of become tradition on Fort Riley to have these pies, so it's not even just about our fundraiser anymore. They are, really integral to the entire Apple Day situation. It actually used to be just called Fort Riley Fall Festival, but the the pies were so popular that the names kind of evolved over the years. So the pies have more importance to Fort Riley than just the money that the Historical Society is able to raise from it. As you see now with the chefs making the pies, that started yesterday morning. Our mission in Historical Society is just to preserve the history of Fort Riley. So all the money that we raise goes right back into the community. We do some scholarships, we buy monuments, we buy some plaques in front of some of the historic buildings, and that's all that money is raised just going into that. It's humbling when you have this many people coming out to help. You know, they want to see this happen. It's tradition. With all these people that come out, and they'll come out again and again, and we couldn't do it without them, so we're just eternally grateful for the help.
Tradition states it's Libby Custer's recipe from when she was here with General Custer. And one thing about the pie is nobody gets to see the entire recipe. That's why we're split up into different shifts. Top secret. Not be shared.
September 23rd, Artillery Parade Field. 5 pies.
Those apple pies sure do look delicious. Make sure on Saturday to visit the Pie Queens and grab yourself a slice of that delicious looking homemade pie. In Fort Riley, for MHK All Day, this is Eric Manugian.
The Pie Queens at Fort Riley were gracious enough to allow me to bring back a pie to the studio for us to try.
Awesome.
Well,
this looks delicious.
It sure does. Let's try some. I can tell you one thing, my house smells like apple pie now.
Oh, I love that
was cooking it all
smell.
morning and
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it smells really, really good. I think my roommates were jealous that I had to bring it in here.
Maybe you can save them a bite.
Well,
This
I'll
is
try.
so good.
It is really good, and it's heavy too. It's about 3 pounds.
Oh,
That's
wow.
a lot of pie. I'll definitely have to make a stop back at Fort Riley to get another one tomorrow.
Yeah, me
on Saturday.
too. So we'll be back after the break. Stay tuned. We're going to have a cooking segment later on, and we'll also have a tech update.
When I hear the phrase giving back,
It means an opportunity for me to do something for others.
Volunteering exposes you to different ways of life and different people around the world.
They teach you just as much as you teach them.
it allows you to understand the social issues that we face. The only people who can resolve those social issues is us, and that's starting with our community.
I think for me it means just really embodying what it means to be a part of that K-State family.
K-State athletics team with Courts for Kids, and we went to Costa Rica, a town called Veja.
We went to Dallas to volunteer at Aid Services of Dallas.
I believe everybody should have education, and that's why I volunteer at a high school.
It's a family atmosphere, and we're here to take care of each other, and I think that K-State Proud and other things that students do really embody that family atmosphere that we've been taught since we got here.
What motivates Wildcats to give back?
Empathy.
Kindness.
You.
I'm Kathleen from Meiningen, Germany.
I'm Ginger from Overland Park, Kansas.
I've traveled to London and saw the Parliament, studied in Mexico City, spent the summer in Austria, went skiing in the Alps. Oh, and I visited the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Well, I've been to the world's largest ball of twine.
Can we go?
Of course!
Become an international buddy today and develop new friendships and experience different cultures.
Up next, the world's deepest hand-dug well.
Is it near the Grand Canyon?
The Career Fair is always a great opportunity for students to look at their future after graduation. Grant Nicholson has more from Bramlage.
The All-University Career Fair kicked off this Tuesday at Bramlage Coliseum and ran until Thursday, with more than 300 employers and over 4,000 students mingling over the 3 days. The Career Center puts on different career fairs throughout the school year and encourages students to get involved with employers before attending.
My advice to students is always to make a connection with employers before you come to the fair. So go ahead and turn in your application and then use this as an opportunity to stay connected to those recruiters and come and introduce yourself.
I ran into one student with first-hand experience on how the career fair can help students find internships and potential jobs.
And that's when I ran into Cohen Financial, and it's there that I applied for a position, and that's the position I got. After all this other applying in a lot of different areas, I got to apply at the career fair for this company, and I got the job. So that was a great experience for me.
Students are encouraged to keep in touch with companies from the career fair in order to boost their chances of landing employment.
Well, we advise them now to launch their Handshake account, which is the new software that we have for students to be able to connect with employers digitally. So we want them to launch that account as early as they can, even our freshmen.
The career fair is a great opportunity for students to give employers a face to go with the name and give them a potential leg up on other competitors. Now, if you'll forgive me, I gotta go get a job. In Manhattan, Grant Nicholson, MHK, All Day.
For more information and advice, students looking for jobs and internships, you can visit the Career Center website at ksu.edu/Career Center. There are over 2.2 million apps available today, and many of us are not aware of the ones that could help us the most. Luckily, we have Maya Hodge in studio to help us get updated on the best student apps. Maya?
Everything from laptops to tablets to smartphones. But are you taking full advantage of these devices? Here are some apps that can help you use your time more effectively and to study smarter. This is your weekly tech update. To begin, every student should have the Google suite of productivity apps. They have Google Drive, Google Docs, and Google Slides. These apps are great because they help you to organize and create documents from basically anywhere. Another great source is ScanBot. This app allows you to scan documents from just by using your phone. It cuts out the background and converts the text, which you can then save to a Google Doc, which will allow you to always have all your handouts right in your pocket. Have you ever forgotten to turn in your homework that was due at midnight because you watched Netflix for about 5 hours straight? Then iStudies is the app for you. It helps you map out your schedule and also sends you reminders when your next assignment is due or when that next quiz is coming up. Sounds like an app I could use. And on the subject of getting distracted, while smartphones can be a great tool, they can also be a huge distraction. Pocket Points is here to help. Simply open this app when you're on campus, lock your phone, and start gaining points towards coupons, student discounts, and much more. These are just a few apps that can help you be productive and stay on track in an easy way using something that you already have in your pocket. That's all the updates we have for you this week. Back to you, Isabel.
Thanks, Maya. I'll have to try a few of those apps out for myself. Don't go anywhere because after the break, we'll have Tyler Waymeyer with us to show us how to put a unique and healthy twist on the traditional salsa.
When I hear the phrase giving back,
It means an opportunity for me to do something for others.
Volunteering exposes you to different ways of life and different people around the world.
They teach you just as much as you teach them.
it allows you to understand the social issues that we face. The only people who can resolve those social issues is us, and that's starting with our community.
I think for me it means just really embodying what it means to be a part of that K-State family.
K-State athletics team with Courts for Kids, and we went to Costa Rica, a town called Veja.
We went to Dallas to volunteer at Aid Services of Dallas.
I believe everybody should have education, and that's why I volunteer at a high school.
It's a family atmosphere, and we're here to take care of each other, and I think that K-State Proud and other things that students do really embody that family atmosphere that we've been taught since we got here.
What motivates Wildcats to give back?
Empathy.
Kindness.
You.
I'm Kathleen from Meiningen, Germany.
I'm Ginger from Overland Park, Kansas.
I've traveled to London and saw the Parliament, studied in Mexico City, spent the summer in Austria, went skiing in the Alps. Oh, and I visited the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Well, I've been to the world's largest ball of twine.
Can we go?
Of course!
Become an international buddy today and develop new friendships and experience different cultures.
Up next, the world's deepest hand-dug well.
Is it near the Grand Canyon?
Welcome back. We have Tyler Waymeyer here with us to show us how to make your next party favor more flavorful.
Thank you, Isabel. Today we are going to make a blueberry salsa. Okay. This is a pretty simple recipe. You just use some simple vegetables and a couple of fruit. So we have 2 cups of blueberries that we're going to add to a bowl. So we'll just take these in here. Okay, and then we are going to take 2 jalapenos. Now, some people like their salsa hot, other people don't. So if you want to make your salsa hot, you can leave the seeds in it. If not, you can take the seeds out. Okay. I did 1 of each, so then you just mix this up. Then we're going to take 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and you'll pour it in. So if you want to do me a favor and go ahead and start mixing that.
All right.
Then we are going to have 3 tablespoons of cilantro, and then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So go ahead and mix that up. Then we have 1/3 cup of red bell peppers, and then 1/2 cup of chopped onions. This ingredient is really good for students who have to go to class back to back and can't really take a big lunch. So you can get a little container like this, put a little scoop in there, and then you're good to go. Now, if you have a long distance in between breaks and before you can eat it, I would maybe bring a cooler pack with you. That way it's not getting warm. But this salsa is really good if you take it overnight and just put it over in the fridge. So you just go ahead and taste it.
It's good. This looks awesome. I love how quick this was. It's a nice, easy way to just make a little snack to bring to a tailgate or to
your next party.
Yeah, either way. Well, that's all we have for today on MHK All Day this week. We'll see you right back here next Friday. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.
This is Channel 8 News.